When looking for a game to review this week, I knew exactly what I was going to do. However, due to physically not being able to play that game due to issues with the Xbox, I had to change the game, so I looked around my collection. I wanted something that wouldn't take too long to play through again, but had quite a bit to look into. And then it hit me. This game's pretty fun.
The dice, by chance they came on Devil's Game, and gosh, they paid the price. Paid the price. And now they're fighting for their lives on a mission fraught with dread. And if they proceed but don't succeed, well, the devil will take their heads.
During E3 2014, the first trailer for Cuphead was dropped, and it looked, oh my god, very stylized, and people were immediately hyped for it based on the art style alone. Set to come out in 2015, 2016, 2017, this game would be the center of attention during tail end of September and during the month of October, and has received so much praise it actually gets kinda old. But why is this game getting so much praise? Is it just the art style? Is it the soundtrack? The Dark Souls difficulty of it all? Well, it's all of that actually, so let's praise the fuck out of the game. The story for Cuphead is very simple and told in the style of a picture book. Cuphead and Mugman are two young boys just having some fun outdoors. They then, however, cross the train tracks that the Elder Kettle, their guardian, said to never cross. After finding themselves in the Devil's Casino, they appear to be on a winning streak when the devil appears and gives them a deal. If they win, they get everything in the casino. But if they lose, the devil takes their souls. Of course, since we need some motivation, they lose, and they plead with the devil for mercy. He tells them to collect the souls of other debtors that have escaped his grasp across Inkwell Isle, and the boys run out and start their adventure. So, let's get into the gameplay. Cuphead is a boss rush game with various run and gun levels spliced in. But there are only around 6 of these levels and 19 different bosses, so the bosses are the main attraction here. Each one is unique and wildly different from the rest, but you will find a little bit of overlap. For example, this bird boss, don't care about his fucking name, I hate this guy, has you dodging feathers from all directions. But this robot has you doing that and dodging platforms at the same time. This is fine in my opinion, as the robot appears in the second to last area of the game, and it's really some nice steady progression that is spaced out fairly well. One complaint I do have, however, is that most, if not all, weapons cost 4 coins, and you can only get up to 5 coins per run and gun level. So, if you want to try out a new weapon, you have to have coins. This can be annoying, because you could be stuck on a boss and have no coins to try another weapon out on said boss, forcing you to replay run and gun levels countless times, getting good enough to collect all the coins. For the casual player, this is not ideal. But despite this, I can't be too mad, as this is actually a pretty fair system. Throughout Cuphead, you'll notice that most of the levels in this game take place on foot. But there are exceptions. A good portion of boss fights take place in an airplane. I find these battles to be some of the more difficult in the game, as all your cool weapons that you bought from the shop for all those precious coins are taken away from you and instead replaced with a weapon akin to the standard weapon and a bomb. Or multiple bombs, but a bomb. While I don't know the exact damage value for any of these guns, the bombs seem only really effective if you can hit them in rapid succession. In standard boss fights, I use 2 combinations of weapons that I find very effective and easy to use. One being the Chaser and Charge Shot, and the other being Chaser and Spread Shot. The Chaser will always aim at the boss no matter what, so it's great for focusing on platforming and dodging and not really doing damage. The Charge Shot does massive damage to the boss, but only if it is fully charged, and the Spread Shot is great for clearing out smaller enemies and for dealing a fuckload of damage if every single shot hits the boss. If you use these 2 weapon combinations, this game will be a breeze. That is, if you don't get hit. The difficulty of Cuphead is very nice actually. The term hard but fair fits perfectly here, as most, if not all, deaths don't feel cheap, as everything is telegraphed and it's your job to avoid the attacks. Except for that bullshit. It could spawn on top of you, and you won't avoid that shit. Very few times during my second playthrough, I was on a boss for more than an hour. But my first playthrough, yeah, that shit was 13 hours long. If you want a challenging game, then that's another reason to check this game out. Music. Oh, the music for this game is so good. The entire soundtrack is jazz inspired by the 1920s, and it's really, really good. Each track is also slightly different most times you hear it, for the bosses at least. They do this by changing where certain solos are in each song. Now, I do appreciate the soundtrack is only $10, so you have no reason not to buy it. Listen to some tracks right now. They're really good.
I'm Mr. King Dice. I'm the gamest in the land. I never play nice. I'm the devil's right-hand man.
With all 17 debtors out for the count, Cuphead and Mugman return to Inkwell Hell. They are greeted by King Dice, who is surprised by them completing their task, and states that he lost a bet. This prompts him to try to kill you. After defeating the boss rush before him, the boys then take him down and move on to the devil himself. When the devil asks you for the contracts, there's a choice to be made. But obviously, you want to fight the devil, so you refuse to give him the contracts. The devil has two main stages, with multiple phases in the second stage. The first stage consists of dodging fucking everything, while also shooting him. Once he jumps out of his skeleton, the second stage begins. From here on out, it's just simple platforming and more dodging until he finally cracks. With the devil down, Cuphead and Mugman decide to free the citizens of Inkwell of their contracts, and all is well in the world. Until next time, of course. DLC hype! Cuphead is a game that shows that not only can two brothers' dreams come true, but also that if it is a girl, there will be oh so much porn of her. The game is a well-crafted platformer and boss rush game that was definitely one of the best games of 2017, in my opinion. For an enjoyment rating, I give this game a 9 out of 10, as I had so many fits of rage and pure euphoria that I consider this game a drug. As a game, I give this a rating of 8 out of 10. As personally, I wanted there to be more with the game, but honestly, it's completely understandable that this is all the content it has. If you want a hard game and really appreciate the 1930s aesthetic, then Cuphead is for you. Cuphead is available on the Xbox One and the PC for $20, with DLC releasing in 2019. Due to contractual obligations, I must say that you should like, comment, and subscribe. Please, they're holding my family hostage, and I don't produce these videos on my own free will.